Hi, it's Ashley from AB Sound Advice. Today we are doing a product review on the Denon D9200, or its exact part number AH-D9200, for all intents and purposes known as the D9200. Now, as you know, I've done the review on the 72 and the 52s, and I've said all the way through, been looking forward to getting the 92s. They've been out of stock since last year. So finally we have a set in front of us, and I will say it's quite cool, this little tag on here with a thank you for purchasing this quality product. So first off, like I always do, we'll just quickly go through the manufacturer's specifications. So they've got the weight in it, 13.23 OZ, drivers of 50mm. We've got a nanofiber free edge driver type. It is a independence of 24 ohm, sensitivity 105 dB/MW, and maximum input power 1.00 MW with a frequency response between 5 and 56.000 Hz. So, wow. First off, I will say this has been a long wait, and I have put these things through the traps. I mean, you can the actual wood, what a fantastic feel, and they're using a Japanese bamboo. And if I actually take a quick look at that, we will actually be able to. It's a what have we got here? They've said that it's a naturally dampened Japanese bamboo wood housing, and of course we've got the leather strap and the leather headset. You know, under here it's all leather and soft and breathable, and it's got memory foam. I mean, super comfortable. I certainly really did enjoy listening to these. So I think first off, we'll go through what I tested them with. And I've run these 9200s through the DAC Magic 200 from Cambridge Audio. I also ran it through the iFi Zen DAC Signature DAC and Amp combo, and I also used the Fuba HD, and of course the Marantz HD1, the Topping A90, and the LYR from Schitz. And we also added to the mix in this particular review, I used the Pathos Aureum valve amplifier, and really everything that I plugged this into, including the iPhone 11. So I've certainly had a lot of time to play with these, and I got to say, very, very impressed. I also, just before we go into more detail about sound and all that sort of stuff, in the package you get a 1.2 or 1.5 meter cable. This pulls off into a 3.5 and obviously into a 6.3, so it's short lead. Also comes with a nice long one terminated to a 6.3 and plugs on the end. It also comes with obviously a nice little cloth for polishing the wooden ear cups, and of course a little booklet. And we also get the handcrafted in Japan, a little bit of information, which I'll just open up. You can see there, just showing their manufacturing process. And again, as I've told you before, Denon do make some fantastic headphones, and the 9200 have been something I've been waiting for. This part of the world, they're about the $3,000 mark. So that's in New Zealand, Australia, it'd be around that. And wow, I think they're definitely ticking the box off for $3,000. As you can imagine, 40 years of playing with headphones. You can send me a set of headphones without telling me anything, and I can give you a rough idea of whether I feel that they are worth what they're asking. And in our part of the world, obviously you've got to factor in our part of the world, we'll be basing it on the pricing we used to, but that's still relative to calculating back to wherever you live. So for $3,000, this definitely sounds and acts and performs like a $3,000 set of headphones. So there's no comment from me saying that it didn't make that. So very impressive. Comfort, super comfortable. I found it to be very agile. I played a whole stack of different music through Tidal and iTunes, and I ran it through all the traps, and it's very musical, it's very clean, It's obviously, again, Denon being what I would consider to be what we call bass dominant. So it's got a nice solid bass to it. And if I had to make a decision, of course, between the 52, the 72, and now the 92, the 92 would definitely be a pair that I would take on board. Would I own a set? Yes, these would definitely I would take on a pair. And I think, it's just because it just ticks everything off for me. It's a great headphone. I found it to be fun, enjoyable, and as I said, in all the different amplifiers that I ran it through, at each amplifier you could hear the slight changes in sound. I even tried a couple of additional DACs. I think I used the DAC 100 from Cambridge Audio as well, just to see what a different DAC would do. And all the way through, I feel that these headphones do manage the music very, very well. I do feel that obviously that this is the thing with these high-end headphones. We are adjusting sounds and manipulating things to get it to the right place, and of course, that's a challenge in itself because each person's looking for something different. But if you're looking for a very relaxed sound, enjoyable, and it can play anything. If you want to play some dance music, it'll hit hard. It really is a great headphone in that sense. If you want to listen to something where it's got a bit of vocal and a bit of detail, it's super enjoyable in that area too. So from the highs, they're very smooth and very warm. They're certainly not clinical. I would call them clear, but not clinical. Is it an audiophile headphone? I think it ticks off the box for me as being called an audiophile headphone. The mid section, again, the voices are very well balanced and smooth. They're not harsh or shrill, so they're very well managed. And then in the bass area, as I've mentioned, they're possibly just a little bit. I would say that all the Denons would be at least a +1, maybe +1.5 to 2, which I don't actually mind because there are times where you want a little bit of extra bass, and the Denons do it in a very, what would you call, managed and controlled way would be the way I'd probably word that. The only comments that I would make about this, which I did think was a little odd, and again, it's not a biggie, is the cables. You got the two cables, and yes, they're good quality high-end cables. There's no argument. I really do like the two lengths. But I think it would have been nice to have a balanced cable included. And I always, with this stuff, like to test all these high-end headphones in a balanced scenario so I can give some feedback on that. So again, as you know, I've got a good relationship with Sonics. So I ordered across a pair of Denon balanced cables, which I've got here. And we've obviously made for the Denon, thank goodness. So terminated to the Denon connections on the end there. And of course, to a balanced on the other end. And I've got to be honest with you, when I got it into the balanced mode, wow, that really did make things a different kettle of fish. Now, don't get me wrong, do I run balanced all the time? No, I don't. So I wanted to cover that off. I mean, if I'm really going to sit down and I really want to, I'm looking for a very clinical evening and I want to sit down and just hear every single thing, and I'm really mastering something, I will fire up the, in my setup, I've only really got the 1 amp that I have with the balanced output, but I've got more coming, and I do enjoy it's a slight subtle difference. It's just a little, it's enough that you notice that, wow, that is fantastic. But you've got to remember the restrictions with balanced. Not all amplifiers have the balanced output. And if you said to me, well, what did you think of the 6.3 and the 3.5? I'm thinking to myself, the differences are so. I mean, I predominantly listened to this. 99% of this was all done on the standard cables that came with Denon, and I only just wanted to put the balanced cable on for my own reference, just to see what I could hear. Was there a difference? And I guess the best way to answer that, was it worth spending $400 or $500 for the additional cable? Yes, for me, it's worth having. Will I use it all the time? No. Am I happy that I've got it? Yes. So I think it's going to be one of those situations that if you're buying a pair of the D9200s in its current format with the cables that come with it, I give it an absolute tick. I'd own it. So as I said, I don't rate things 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. Would I own it? Yes, I would. And anybody who knows me knows I'm very fussy and I'm very particular in what I would or wouldn't take on. And I'm also very respectful to all people who listen to music, because we all have our own taste. But from experience of not only being an audiophile myself since the early 80s, through to being in retail and wholesale and all the different positions I've been in my career. I know for a fact that this is really right up there. Wouldn't be very many, if any, headphones I've heard at the exact $3,000 price point that would come anywhere near there. So they definitely hold their own spot there. In the other reviews, I've been super positive on all the Denon headphones, and again, this is the one that I would definitely take home, keep. And again, I'd like to thank Aptech Audio Lounge for loaning these to me. Shame I have to give them back. I've held on to these as long as I could, and I'm getting gentle little reminders if they could please have them back, and unfortunately I will have to return them. So that gives you an idea. I certainly think these are fantastic. So if you're looking to spoil yourself and you're looking for a really top-notch, comfortable headphone with some really good sound, you're not going to go wrong with the D9200. And again, if you do want to get a balanced cable, Zion Sonics in the USA, you can order them directly from there. Or if you're wanting to find out where to get them from, just message me and I'll send you the link to their website. But other than that, I have to say Denon, 10 out of 10 for the Denon AH-D9200 headphones. Fantastic job. And as you know, Denon's been around since 1910, so as far back as I can remember. I wasn't even born back then, but I just actually love the grain. This is just absolutely a must-have. I would struggle not to take those home. So I hope you've enjoyed today's review, and again, thank you for supporting me, and thank you for tuning into AB Sound Advice.